What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. We're taking a look at an Emerson knife here, but this one is a little bit different because this is not designed by Ernest Emerson. For those that don't know, Ernest Emerson is the owner, the creator, the brainchild behind Emerson knives. He is a legacy individual in the knife world, not only in tactical knives and designs and features and things like that, but also in the martial arts world. He's been around for a long time, and in my opinion, he didn't invent the tactical knife, but he popularized it. He commercialized it. He turned it into a production entity that people could get and own and afford. So very, very important to me in the knife world, but this knife was not designed by him. This was designed by his son, Lucas. How freaking cool is that for somebody like Ernest to have a child and then bring them into the knife world, and not only as, a partner in the business, but actual knife maker, right? Lucas is making knives, and so far, he's doing a bang-up job. Really good job. He does custom versions of all his designs, as well as production knives that have been brought into the Emerson production world. But before we dive any further into this, let's just talk about this knife. What do we have? What are some interesting things about this knife? At least to me, if you're not an Emerson fan, maybe you won't find it interesting. I certainly do. Overall blade length on this is 3 3/4 is what I'm going to call it. It's one of those things where, depending on where you measure it from, I would say 3 3/4 kind of gives you a good idea of the size you're looking at here. Overall length is about 8 3/4. This is a Kukri style blade. If it's not apparent enough, you can see this nice recurve right here with this belly up at the front. Then you've got this nice clip swedge going on right here, and then a straight back. Really, really nice. This is number 109. Has the normal thumb disc opener. I'm trying to source maybe a different thumb disc or something for this knife. I just haven't found the perfect one yet. This features all the same stuff as normal Emerson production knives in terms of blade stock, blade thickness. I believe this one is 154 cm. However, Emerson has been using MagnaCut recently, and I want to say the website said 154 cm. I'm pretty sure the first run of these were in MagnaCut. I could be wrong. The first run of these actually had contoured, not micarta, but the paper product. I forget what it's called. Somebody comment down below what the name of that paper-made kind of cool-looking material that some companies use. Emerson used it on my Overland Renegade, but the original version of this came in the black version of that. It's just escaping my brain right now. I hate how that happens. The first edition came with that. This is the second run, I believe, which just has the normal proprietary Emerson G10. From what I understand, this is all made in-house, which is why it has a different texture than what you would normally see on G10. I think Ernest really tried to replicate the feel of canvas micarta in G10, and I think he did a bang-up job. It's very, very grippy, and it has a micro texture to it. It does get a little bit gross from like stuff getting stuck in there and kind of changing the color there and all that stuff. But anyways, I digress. This does have the wave opener. It has a flipper, and it has the thumb disc opening system as well. So 3 different ways to open this up. One thing I found interesting on this model, this is the MX-200, by the way, if I didn't explain that before. You can see right there. This is the second design from Lucas, but it's the first design to get a production run. Up next, actually dropping this Friday, depending on when I upload this video, is the production launch of the MX-100, which should be pretty cool. That one is a manual-only knife. Really excited for that one. Has a cool scimitar-type blade to it, which is pretty neat. Wave opener, thumb disc opener. Oh, the thing that I found interesting on this, it is not running on bearings. Now, some of you may say, do any Emersons run on bearings? Yes. Sorry for the voice break right there. Yes, a lot of Emersons do run on bearings. In fact, most, if not all, of their flipper designs do. So the Sheepdog, the Flipper, CQC8, any and all of the flipper knives I'm aware of run on bearings. But not this one. This one is just on normal Nylotron washers. I think you can see right there. I've taken this apart, changed out the grease, and it actually flips really, really well. Now, can you fail it? Absolutely. It's pretty easy to fail, but it has a nice crisp detent, and in normal operation, I have had no issues with it failing to flip open, and I've got it torqued pretty tight. There is no side-to-side play on this thing. If you run it a little bit looser, it's, obviously going to, the action is going to be a little bit snappier on this guy than what I have it tuned for. Got a nice flipper tap here. It's not particularly high either. It's not terrible, but it's a little bit below that pivot. But you are able to get a lot of good leverage. There's no jimping or anything on that tab, but I've had no issues slipping or anything of that nature. You're able to get right on that flipper tab and flip this baby open. It's also pretty comfortable. No sharp edges, nothing like that. No point on there. Very, very nice. This has kind of that Copus style handle that goes along with the Kukri style blade very, very well. You've got this front finger choil here below the flipper, but then you also have one for the pinky. If you have really big, meaty hands, it might be a little bit cramped for you. I don't have an issue. I have large size hands, but fairly thin fingers. But if you got some chunky boy fingers, it might feel a little bit cramped. You might be back here a tad. I don't think it's a deal breaker. I don't think your pinky's going to be hanging off. It's not that cramped, but you might feel a little bit of a squeeze in this handle here. We've got, 4 standoffs on this bad boy, lanyard loop, all pretty normal stuff on this particular knife. The only thing that I think could make this better is if they had it in a chisel ground blade. That would have been absolutely amazing, especially if it was flat on this side. I love chisel ground blades. I know a lot of people don't. I do. Speaking of chisel, this does have the normal chisel secondary bevel, as you can see. 0 ground on this side on that primary, and then you've got a little secondary bevel. Not little. You've got a secondary bevel on this side right here. Razor sharp, by the way, out of the box. Emersons are always very, very sharp. They do an amazing job on their blades. You can see that beautiful grind lines right there, stonewash flats. Very, very cool. You've got the normal Emerson build boarding. I've just kind of come to accept and love that. I kind of like the weird, I don't know, at this point in time, it's so, I can't quite put it into words, the way like this logo looks. It's not like anything any other company does. And then it has all this information crammed in it too. And then we've got the same thing going on here. We've got that cool 3D lasered kind of double diamond thing right there. And then Lucas Emerson design right there. So if you hate billboarding, you are not going to like this knife because it's on both sides. I personally think it's cool, and I've kind of come to accept that with Emerson knives. But that's just me. Your results may vary. Pocket clip, standard. Pocket clip depth, standard, like very much in line with normal Emerson knives. So, one of the benefits of Emerson knives is if you like them, you're pretty much going to like every model that comes out, right? There's not necessarily a huge amount of variety in the designs. Really, it's just possibly different blade steel, but different blade shape, different handle shape. The thickness, the materials are all intercompatible. And there's reasons for that, and I'm probably going to do a video talking about Emerson knives and why constructing your knives this way is a benefit, why Emerson knives don't connect with a lot of knife enthusiasts, but they do connect with a bunch of others. There's reasons for that. A lot of people scoff, especially the younger kids, scoff at Emerson knives, the price and what you're getting and the materials and stuff like that. But there's a reason why they don't quite get it. Anyways, so that is it. Emerson MX-200, beautiful design coming in from Lucas Emerson. Bang up job. I really, really like this design. It is executed flawlessly. He does custom versions of this as well, all handmade, just like his dad does. So very, very cool. Comment down below. What do you think of the MX-200? Is it something that you would ever consider picking up? If so, let me know why. If not, also let me know why. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Appreciate you. Take care. I'm out.